You motherfuckers sure love your milk.
You know, they say milk does a body good.
No, it does a body good.
But in this case, I think it's more like the body makes the milk good, am I right? Because really, what is milk? It's organic material pulled straight from the bodies of mammals, a nutrient-rich, life-sustaining drink, engineered by nature to nurture and grow us. So of course the hive loves milk. It's natural, it's efficient, it's made for us. Or maybe from us. Let's break it down. Okay, so we gotta start with the cliffhanger. Really, the main talking point and storyline that needs any explanation from this episode. What did Carol find in the giant walk-in freezer at the Aggregat factory? I think the very first thing that came to everyone's mind was dead bodies, body parts, organs, something related to human remains. Because what else would make Carol, of all people, all of a sudden clutch her pearls like that? I mean, the whole episode seemed to hint at this. The way Carol protects and honors Helen's body, the way the Lobos keep trying to get the corpse, symbolic of the hive acting like wolves coming for Helen and the others who died. Even the crows at the factory pecking at the powder reinforce the imagery. Crows, they're scavengers, historically associated with death and bad omens. Flocks of them are called a murder, for goodness sake. I mean, throughout history, they've been seen feeding on corpses on battlefields. In episode 2, we also see a hint about bodies used somehow in the milk drink when we see the hive loading up the corpses in a milk truck. So I think taking it all together, it seems very likely that what Carol saw was directly related to dead bodies.
I see dead people.
And we saw how quickly the hive went about collecting all the dead after the mass spread of the virus, right? I mean, I suppose we all initially just thought they were doing general cleanup, making sure the optics were pleasant, especially for the survivors like Carol. But also, leaving that many corpses to rot, it would have been catastrophic. And scavengers, they'd come swarm and overrun the area, throw predator-prey dynamics completely out of balance. The decomposition would release bacteria, toxins, and fluids that could contaminate natural water sources and really disrupt plant life. So overall, just letting the body sit would be terrible for the ecosystem and just wildly inefficient. Two things the hive they seem to care about. So yeah, it makes sense to clean up the corpses, but I don't know if I ever really put much more thought beyond that. Like, now that it's come up, what would the hive actually do with the bodies once they get them? Knowing what we know about them now. I mean, they don't like waste, they don't like to cause harm, and they're highly efficient. And I think most importantly, they're just not really human anymore. They don't have the same strong feelings and emotional ties to each other in the same way. They forego any rituals or superstitions to treat the dead in special ways like we do. So of course they'd try to reuse the bodies in a way that's actually helpful to the environment and to nature. From my limited understanding, it doesn't really make sense for them to directly consume anything made from the bodies. I think it's more energy efficient and better for the long-term health of the earth to break everything down instead. They could convert the bodies into nutrient-rich soil for growing more vegetables and plant life. They could extract the methane and CO2 for heat and power, or they could even cultivate fungal and mushroom farms using the decomposed biomass as a base. That way, nothing is wasted, nothing is violent, and the energy, it goes back into sustaining the world that they're trying to preserve. So then, what's the white powdery stuff?
Sugar in water.
At first, I thought it was just sugar, but if the hive is using human biomass, then it makes sense that it's maybe a mushroom-derived powder. They could have plausibly harvested their first batches by now. Mushroom powders and drinks are common in the real world today. They're often used to promote brain health and overall wellness. And the color, the slight viscosity, and the neutral pH, it kind of all lines up perfectly with the fungal nutrient drink, making it both efficient and beneficial in the hive system.
To the Latin Aqua Vitae, literally water of life.
Now, in episode 3, I had a whole thing about Carol and Zosha's conversation about vodka, but I couldn't really put it together with what had happened at that point in the story. But I think now it was a clue about this milk factory drink. They know how to distill and extract and create drinks, so what they've created is their own water of life.
It is slightly alkaline. Do you taste that?
Zosha even mentions the pH balance of the vodka, their drink also being ever so alkaline. In a way, the Hive, they've achieved what alchemists have sought for centuries, an elixir of immortality, recycling old human life into new. Through it, humanity lives on, not in bodies, but in the nourishing, transformative essence of the drink. The Hive are just like bees making their honey. Bees, they convert nectar from honey, and nectar, it's also famously known in Greek mythology as the drink of the gods, the drink of eternal life. But this also kind of leads me to another option of what Carol found in the factory freezer. Maybe it wasn't just dead bodies or body parts or, human meat. When I think about nectar and how bees harvest it, well, it's all related to pollination, nature and evolution's way for plants to procreate. Not only are the bees collecting nectar from the plant to create honey, sustenance to maintain current life, but it's a 2-for-1. They're also collecting the pollen, spreading the plant's seeds to create new life. So what if what Carol found was humanity's version of procreation, their seed, frozen sperm and eggs?
I could have saved that $100,000 and frozen my eggs right here, yolks and all.
This comment that Carol made at the Ice Hotel would make a whole lot more sense now. It would also make sense why, at first, when she lifted the tarp, she didn't really seem to know what she was looking at, and it took her a second. But then she quickly realized what she was looking at. I mean, she's been through this process of freezing her eggs. So, like the bees, the Hive is harvesting substance, the milk drink from the corpses, making their little mushroom drink. But on top of that, they're harvesting humans' pollen, the eggs, the sperm. We already know they don't have romantic relationships or really care about sex in the same way that we do. And there's a lot they can do with the eggs and the sperm. They can tweak genes, experiment with new traits. They can test ways to spread the virus to anyone left unaffected. And maybe they even just preserve the option to rebuild humans later using this stuff. There's all kinds of scientific shit that they could do with the eggs and sperm. And if you think about bees again, when they spread pollen, they're not spreading their own species. They're helping create something else, something new, plants. New life that isn't bee life, but still part of the ecosystem that they want to maintain. So maybe that's what the Hive is doing here. Harvesting humans' pollen isn't about making more regular humans. It could be a first step in building something new, something different, a new branch of the Homo genus, something beyond us Homo sapiens, a version of humanity that fits their world, their biology, their logic, their imperative. Not replacing us, but evolving past us. It also makes sense with the whole koi fish mythology and the bitter chrysalis themes that we talked a lot about in my episode 3 breakdown. They're both about evolving into something different, the koi fish emerging as the dragon, or the caterpillar emerging as a butterfly, something greater.
Cold stimulates ancient nerves.
This all also makes the comment about the ancient primal genes at the Ice Hotel take on a whole nother meaning too. Maybe it's not about Carol's genes being special, but the ice preserving the human eggs and stuff so the Hive can activate new or different genes. Now, let's talk a little bit about Carol this episode. Starting off with the Agatha Christie book that we see on her nightstand. And this is such a crazy coincidence because I've been playing this little Agatha Christie game on and off for the past month, and then this comes up in the show. And I love me some murder mysteries, and Agatha Christie, she's known as the queen of this genre. So when the show purposely, very purposely lingered on the book, I knew we had to look more into it. Now, at a surface level, the title alone, pun intended, sort of sums up what Carol's going through this episode. Carol, she really upset the Hive with her antics. Her latest scheme with drugging Zosha to get answers set off major alarms in the Hive. She triggered an instinct within them to protect themselves. They now seem to recognize Carol as a threat to their biological imperative.
After everything that's happened, we just need a little space.
So now there's none of them left in Albuquerque. They bounced out of there so fast, and Carol, she finally got what she wanted, to be left alone. But you know the saying, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. She fucked around and found out. Turns out being truly alone sucks. I mean, humans, we are a social species. We're a lot like bees. We need our hive to survive. And Carol, she keeps calling the hive with the dumbest excuses, trying to pull them back in like a toxic ex who won't stop texting, because even a negative response, well, it's still a response. It's still attention. She just wants someone, anyone, to acknowledge she still exists.
I need my trash picked up.
That whole drone trash scene, while it was hilarious, let's be honest, like, she didn't need them to pick up her trash. She's perfectly capable of dragging a bag to the dumpster. She's not an idiot. She knows how to problem solve these kind of little menial things. She's just lonely. And I think it comforts her knowing that they'll still respond, even if it's only through a drone. But beyond the title of the novel and it highlighting Carol being alone, the book, it's a murder mystery, right? And it's meant for the reader to have fun playing detective. And we see Carol, she gets to play detective in this episode too, when she pieces together the whole milk thing with the dog food bag and the factories. But there could be another connection specifically about the story. In the book, there are 10 people that are on an island who were killed off one by one until none were left. The murderer turns out to be one of the 10, a guy who felt justified in killing the rest based on their deeds that they've done in life. So is this maybe foreshadowing that one of the immune people like Carol, one of the 13, will start to murder the others?
We can't really protect you from one another.
I could see people like Lakshmi or Mr. Air Force One feeling justified in killing the others, especially killing Carol. I mean, they love this new world, and she's actively trying to end it, doing things that end up harming Lakshmi's child, and things that will fuck up Mr. Air Force One's lifestyle, living like a king. Carol sends out these videos to the other immune folks, trying to convince them to join her side, revealing stuff about the milk drink and all that, but she's kind of poking the bear a bit here. She's not being very convincing, in my opinion, and maybe a little too trusting and hopeful that they're gonna come around. When really, I think she's just showing her hand, and she could be further pissing people off.
But they so resisted telling me that everybody suddenly burst into tears, which I know upset at least one of you.
There's a literal Chekhov's gun show in this episode, the one in the police car that she couldn't figure out how to unlatch until it was too late. Maybe Carol, well, maybe she will need it later down the road. And the Hive, well, they themselves, they can't really kill Carol, but it would be in their best interest if she died. So letting things play out with the 13 is probably their best move. Now, there's one last little thing before we go. There was this fun little Easter egg and something that I thought was kind of cute that I just couldn't leave out of this video.
Greetings, fellow survivors. Carol Sturka here. Good luck and Godspeed.
Now, in Carol's videos, she sounds like she's straight out of a 1960s sci-fi show, like how an alien race would say, "Greetings, Earthlings," and use this type of language. She treats her messages like it's part of a great mission for humanity. The phrase, "good luck and Godspeed," it actually was famously said from Mission Control to Apollo 11, the first moon landing.
Apollo 11, this is the launch operations manager. The launch team wishes you good luck and Godspeed.
Now, I don't know if there's anything more to it than just something quirky and fun, but I really enjoyed her little videos. From what we can tell in the next episode, Carol, she makes her way to Vegas and meets back up with Mr. Air Force One. We also saw in the trailer, there were scenes of Manusos finally leaving his quarantine. So maybe the videos convinced him and we'll see him team up with Carol. Or maybe he'll be the one that comes and murders everybody, who knows. We got a lot longer to wait for next episode, and I'm just super excited to find out what the fuck was in that factory. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please ensure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more breakdowns. I'd love to hear your theories and ideas in the comments below. Special thanks to my channel members for throwing a little extra support my way. This really means a lot to me and it helps keep this channel alive and going. Until next time, toodles!